Hello and welcome to the Integrity Project. I'm
Let's
your
do it.
host.
Do it up, buddy. Let's go.
You don't have to yell in the microphone. Eh?
I want to yell.
Yeah, you want to yell?
Yeah, we're right here. We don't
Can you
need to
stop?
yell. It's okay.
We're gonna be very Italian today. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Integrity Project. I'm your host, Roy Coacholo, and this is my podcast. And I have a very special guest today, and I'm going to read it out because I think he deserves the proper introduction here. He's a good friend of mine, and I got to say, he's a great inspiration for anyone. He's definitely helped me through my life as well. I just want to make sure I do justice to this gentleman, my good friend, Joe Trimboli. Today on the Integrity Project, I'm sitting down with someone whose life is a living example of what it means to transform from the inside out. Joe Trimboli is the founder of the Wake Up Call, a mindset coach. But beyond his titles, Joe's a man who knows what it feels like to be stuck, to question himself, and to face a gap between who you are and who you are called to be. His work is about more than motivation, it's about truth, discipline, and creating real results in life. Today, we're not just talking about mindset, we're talking about the deep shifts that change everything. Joe, welcome to the Integrity Project.
Thank you, Roy. And thank you. I can echo all of those thoughts. You've helped me through my darkest days. You're a man that's helped a lot of people I know personally, and it's a pleasure to be here.
I really do appreciate you coming, Joe. And I know that it seems that when we talk, sometimes we've lived parallel lives at different times.
Mm.
I'm going to ask you, you've you've built your work around mindset and transformation. But what was the personal wake-up call that you made to take this path for yourself?
Change of perspective. I think I used to play the victim a lot. I used to see things through that colored lens that I think we all inherit, just a set of beliefs and ideas, and you see the world through that, and it gets you results. You don't even realize it. So it was through a couple conversations with a good friend of mine. He just told me to stand somewhere else and look at it a little differently. And it opened my mind up to wanting to learn more about what he was talking about. At the time, he was following Bob Proctor, who I think is one of the greatest teachers of all time when it comes to personal growth and development and just unleashing this potential that we have inside. And as I started to hear and learn, I wanted to hear and learn more. I became obsessed with it just because it resonated so deeply with me. So I made it my mission to study every day. And I think if there's anything in the world we should study, like surgeons study to become surgeons, but there's the power of the mind, and we hear how powerful it is, and it's the greatest force in the universe, the imagination, and we don't really learn about ourselves. So I really just became obsessed with learning as much as I can. And then I just started sharing it with people as I went along, and it became a great passion of mine. It's very fulfilling. I think I found my purpose, which I wish for everyone. It's a different way to live.
Speaking of purpose, and most people, especially I think that now in today's society, I think a lot of men struggle with purpose. And I think the definition of purpose sometimes becomes skewed in the sense that we feel that most of our self-worth is tied to our net worth. So when you come around and you want to define purpose for somebody who's actually looking for it, what would you say purpose really is?
Well, first I would say don't go looking for it. I think it's something you have to uncover. I think it's within everyone. It's just buried underneath all this crazy way of thinking and all these false beliefs. But to discover your purpose, I think you got to have goals, keep growing. And as you try different things, you'll notice what feels good, when you feel most yourself, when you feel like you can have the most impact. And I think it's something that you uncover naturally. But the trap is when we, try to figure out our purpose. I think it's something we should think about, but not something we should chase.
So do you feel like purpose is more of something that is discovered through work? Like I understand the fact that I always want to know, like, what is my purpose in life? Like, why am I here? And a lot of us tie our purpose to, like, I got to be, rich. Everyone's talking about money all the time. And I think that's, it is very shallow of us to think that only purpose in life is to actually make money and provide. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on us. And now that women also have the ability to provide, and it gives us a little bit of one less thing that we actually need to do to support our families. What other forms of purpose are there besides the fact of just being a provider or protector, do you think?
Well, I think I'll start with a general answer, which I think everybody's purpose is to serve. I think our greatest calling is to serve. Um, if you believe in God and you believe that we're here to do God's work, which is what we're told, God's work is creation. We're here to create. And I think we get stuck in just the mundane, the responsibilities of our everyday lives. And yeah, you could work harder and make more and do more, but if it's at the surface level, you won't find fulfillment. So I think purpose is something, again, that comes from serving, from growing. And in order to grow, you got to have goals. Like, the purpose of a goal is to cause you to grow. And I think people set goals to have the thing, and they miss the point of the goal. It's, yeah, you'll get the thing and it's great. You get the award, you get the money, you get the house, you get the car, you get the trip, whatever it is that you want, whatever your goal is. But the real satisfaction and the fulfillment comes on that journey, in the growth that is necessary for you to achieve the goal. Like, you have to become that person. And the more you continue to set goals and achieve and get on different journeys and learn different lessons and experience different things, I think the better chance you have at uncovering your purpose. It's in there. It's in there for everyone.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle for most people to achieve their goals or their purpose or to feel fulfilled?
First, I think decision. Decision is misunderstood, man. I think we all think we make decisions, but are we making decisions based on where we want to go, or based on what's available to us right now? So, like, we'll say things like, I'm going to do this, but I don't have the money, or I want to start going to the gym, but I don't have the time, or so we don't make the decision. And really, I think the biggest obstacle is getting stuck in how it is right now. If you're feeling stuck, it's because you're emotionally involved with what's going on now in your life. And to get unstuck is only one way to do it. Focus on what you want and take action. And you got to understand, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. You're going to have to become that person. It's not that you're not capable. It's not like you don't have everything that you need is here. You just have to become aware of it. And that's something I say that, like, I say it lightly. And I remember hearing that and I'd be like, what the hell is he talking about? But it's true. Everything's already here. You just have to become aware of it.
It's like my mentor said to me, you have to decide and then figure it out.
Yeah.
For most people, try to figure it out because is that because they're comfortable where they're at, and then to make a decision based on what they know today, rather than taking the leap of faith, saying, hey, I've decided that I want to accomplish this, and then I'll figure out how to get it done while I go through it, rather than let me try to figure this out and then decide whether or not I want to move forward with it.
Yeah.
So where can people find that shift? Where can people find that shift of mindset, if you want to call it? Because I know that when I struggle, it's not my mind that doesn't want to do it. My mind's like, hey, let's get up and go to the gym. And my body's like, yeah, you know what? Let's just have a cup of coffee and check emails. So is it the body that follows the mind, or is it the mind that follows the body?
Everything starts in the mind. The mind, the body acts according to the thoughts that you think. Excuse me. And even if it's the way you project the action that you're taking, like if you're making calls not expecting to get the result you want, there's an energy there. Or if you're making calls because you're desperate for money and the commission attached to it because you need to pay next month's mortgage, there's an energy. They call it commission breath, right? So I'll say that the how, what you're talking about, is the how. The how is a dream killer. And we never make the decision because we're trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Steve Jobs said it best. You never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking back. And When you get to that point in the future, only then can you look back and see how you did it. So I think the point is you got to make the decision, figure out what you want. We don't spend enough time thinking consciously, right? Like it's a rat. You wake up, you go through the same old routine, right? Your feet hit the ground the same way. You go get your coffee the same way. You follow a routine. And we don't spend enough time doing conscious thinking. We don't spend enough time thinking about what we want. And if you look at our behavior, a lot of the times, the way we behave and what we do and the way we speak and the actions we take don't reflect what we truly want. So that's the biggest obstacle, is making the decision and then really asking the question, well, what do I want? And then understanding that the choices you make, or the decision that you're making consciously, you're making it from your higher self. You're making it from the person that you want to become. But you're still programmed to behave the way you always have. You still have the same habits. So I think when it comes time, like to your example of, you say you want to go to the gym, but then you don't feel like it. It's making that conscious decision, knowing the direction you're going to take, and then just doing it whether you feel like it or not. And I think what's important with that is you remember the end, right? Like, how are you going to feel once that workout's done? How did you feel last time you didn't feel like going to the gym and you smashed the workout and you said it was the best workout you ever had? Like, how does that happen, right? So falling in love with the journey, reminding yourself every single day, starting with intention. I think the way you start your morning really sets the day. And use that beautiful mind to think. People think that mental activity constitutes thinking. It's not. It's just mental activity. Thinking is when you sit and actually, what do you want? What do you need to do? Who do you need to become? What are you going to do today? And by the way, backing up a bit, when I say don't worry about the how, like the how's a dream killer, you get to ask how after you've made the decision. I want to have a podcast. Oh, I don't have the space. I don't have the mic. I don't know where to put it. I don't know how to post it. I don't know what I'm going to sound like. Who are going to get? You make the decision, I want to have a podcast. And then you can ask how. How am I going to do it? Where am I going to get the space? Who am I going to have as a guest? How am I going to serve? Right? I'm not a great speaker. Take a speaking class. You figure it out. And that's the fun, man. And the growth that happens in the people that you meet. And you'll start to see that the people that you don't really jive with, but you're kind of stuck with, fall away. And the people that you're meant to be with just come into your life. It's like magic. It's a beautiful thing. And that all happens on that journey. So fall in love with that journey.
You know what? That's beautiful. Well said. And what would you say to people that have the mindset of, I'd never have enough time? Like, I think that a lot of people, I've seen in my journey is the fact that, well, I can't add any more to my schedule. I can't add any more, things that I need to do at the end of the day. I can't add any more. I have kids. I got this, I got that. Like, what do you say to people that want to change their life, but feel like time is their enemy?
Just stop it. Just knock it off. Okay. Stop with the excuses. I've been there. I did it for 40 years. I know the tricks. What I would say is, we all have the same amount of time. Everybody gets 24 hours. And it's what you do with your time. But what most people don't know is that, one, our use of time is predetermined by your programming, by, we call it a paradigm, right? The paradigm is in control of how you use your time. You'll pick up your phone, so we do things unconsciously according to this habitual way that we've always done it. And again, you got to get intentional and fall in love with sacrifice. I think the word sacrifice has this negative connotation, right? Like sacrifice. I grew up with sacrifice, like you're giving up something and it's like torture, right? Sacrifice is the price you get to pay to have what you want. You're going to trade something of lower value for something of greater value. Trading Netflix for reading a book. Trading smoking dope for going for a walk. Trading, I don't know, sitting around playing video games on your phone to going to the gym. Like, you're trading up. You said that you want this, and you get to decide what you're going to give up to have it. So start looking at, and maybe do a time audit. Like, if you want the practical answer, audit your time, audit your day. Maybe pay a kid to follow you around for a couple of days and track how you spend your time. You think you're busy? Look at all the time you're wasting. It's crazy the time that we waste doing things that don't serve us or that aren't getting us anywhere. But it's comfortable, right?
That is true. One exercise I learned from my mentor is you get a piece of paper
Mm.
and you fold it in three. And in the middle, you write down all your goals. Whatever it is for you don't have to do all your goals, but like say the goals for your next 12 months. You write down whatever the top 3 or 4 goals are for the year. On the other side, what you do is you write down all your priorities, right? So family, health, business, whatever. You write down all your priorities, you have 3 or 4 or 5 of them. And then on the other side of the paper, on the other side of your goals, is you write down all the actions that you take during the day. And then find out where the disconnect is. Like, is this action I'm taking reaching my goals? And is it part of my priorities? Right? And if they're not, is some people say like family is my priority, but yet all they do is spend time working. Mm. And so if family's a priority, but you're spending all the time working, maybe you don't get your family involved in your goals enough to make sure you can hit your goals, whether that's sacrifice you do together. Hey, listen, our goal is to save $50,000 so we can go on our trip that we always dreamed about. So that way you're not the only one doing it. And if your thing is health, but you're sitting around eating potato chips and watching TV, well, that's not really part of your goals or a priority. So I think it taking the time to understand where you're at and what you need to do to change those things. And when it comes to paradigm, I think people are a mass confusion because what they want is not necessarily what they really want. What they want is what they see other people have that they believe they're lacking, right? Oh, I want to get that car. Well, why do you want the car? Oh, because John has it. Is it really something you really want? Because I was like that. I was like, hey, I really want to get a sports car. And I've had sports cars. I had high-end sports cars, but it never fulfilled me at the end. After 6 months, it's like, why do I have this? So I think that understanding truly what you want in life, what your true desire is and what's called of you and not from you, if you take that starting point and make a list of all the things that you actually do during a day, like you said, time audit, you can tell, like, you don't have to even time audit. You can just say, like Netflix, Instagram, cooking dinner, whatever it is, you write down the 25, 30 things you do a day. It doesn't have to be that much. And you see how well you get connected. Like that's a good little audit for people to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. You know what I love about that audit? We all have self-image issues, right? And we look at the results that we get in our life as evidence to support what we believe to be true. I'm unlucky. No matter what I do, it never works out. Success is for other people. Money's for them, not for me. And, all this crap. But if I make a list, if I say, okay, this is what I want $1 million. And I make a list of who I need to be and what I need to do to have that. Now I have a checklist. And every day I can look and say, did I make my calls? Nope. Right? Did I knock on the doors? No. Did I take that course? No. Did I wake up early? Yeah. Did I read? Yeah. So, and a friend of mine did this with his son who wanted to make, I think, AAA as a goalie. And he didn't make the team. And he was like, typical kid, kind of sucked out, right? And even the dad was kind of like the coach, blame the coach. And then thankfully this dad he's somebody who's awake and said to his son, you know what? If you wanted to make AAA, imagine yourself, you're playing AAA. Think back and what would you have had to do in order to make that AAA team? So he made a checklist. I have to stretch every day. I'd have to work on my glove hand. And he made a list of all the things. So now when it came time to the draft or to make this AAA team and he didn't make it, you look at the list and you say, well, I didn't do these things. And if you do that with your own life, now you can't blame circumstances. You can't blame luck. You can't blame other people. You can't believe that it's something that you were born into and that, you're just not capable. It's that you didn't do what other people were doing. And I wish I knew that in school. Like I say this to my kids all the time. It's not a matter of being smart or stupid. It's a matter of doing the work. And to do the work, you need to establish some habits. You need to plan your time. And that's what they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you how to manage your time, how to maybe take proper notes, how, and then you grow up with this identity. I'm not a good student, or I'm stupid, or I'm not as smart as they are. I used to spend my time daydreaming. I'd be looking out the window at the birds.
I want to also ask you just 2 more questions here, Joey. One is, People always think you have to take giant leaps in order to make great changes. What do you tell those people that come and see you and want to change your life, but expect they expect almost the extraordinary to happen overnight?
Uh, I love quantum leaps. I'm all for them, and I think they're very possible. Sometimes it's just something that shifts within you. You see things differently that'll cause you to take action. But I think if you bite off too much, it can be discouraging, overwhelming. You'll feel lost, and you'll feel like, it's just too big of a mountain to climb. So I would say pick one or two things that you want to change about yourself or improve, or habits that you want to develop or whatever, and just remind yourself of those every single day. And make sure you give yourself a lot of credit, pat yourself on the back. I think we don't do enough of that. And look at the results. Like, notice how when you take a different action, you get a different result. Let that change what you previously believed to be true. Like, you need new evidence to override your current belief system, because your beliefs, the sky's not the limit. Your belief system is. And so the whole purpose of taking action, you get a reaction. That reaction you get should change what lies and or beliefs were formed of lies and opinions and excuses and validations of other people that you just kind of adopted. You didn't even choose those, but they're in you. So when you start taking action, now you're in harmony with the law of cause and effect. One of my favorite laws, cause and effect. You swing one ball, you get one ball back. You want better results, swing four balls. And when you do that, now you don't live in that victimhood anymore. You take responsibility for your life. You're more likely to take action, knowing that, like, why would you take action if you didn't believe you were going to get the reward? You're going to sacrifice and do this work, but not believe that you're going to get the thing that you set out to do. So it's so important to observe it.
Speaking of which, since this is called the Integrity Project, what does integrity mean to you?
Oh, behaving consistent with what you say you are, what you say you want, even when nobody's watching, when nobody's around. I can say that if you're not feeling a little imposter syndrome when that question arises, like, I think we all live out of integrity. And the most important part about life, and I think the most fulfilling and I won't say motivating, but encouraging fact and truth, is that you can restore your integrity. Understanding that we haven't always behaved in a way that you'd want to. You probably hurt people you didn't want to hurt, or did things that you shouldn't have done. I think there's not a human being alive that can say they never did something that they regret. But you can't live in that regret. You can't live in that resentment. You can't live in that guilt, because that will put the ceiling and the lid on whatever you're going to accomplish going forward. So when you really understand that, it's not gaslighting, it's not deflecting, it's not ridding yourself of any responsibility. You take 100% responsibility. But I think if you want forgiveness, you got to change your behavior. And that's what it means to repent, right? You adopt a new mindset where thinking about doing something you would have done in the past actually disgusts you now. But you don't sit and rot about it. You just adjust it. So integrity, it's all of that, man. It's also knowing that you're going to be out of integrity and being big enough and courageous enough to restore your integrity and have those difficult conversations when needed.
What is your deepest truth that you have discovered, and how has it shaped the way you live and serve today?
I'm going to feed off the last question I answered, and that's it. Like, my deepest truth, yeah, I haven't been the person that I wanted to be. And never, living in a way that you don't feel good about yourself, it's a terrible way to live. And it takes it takes a community, it takes a village, they say. It takes guys like you, Roy. You helped me through some really difficult times. Like Lisa, your next guest, I don't know when she's coming on, but People just show up for you, but you have to show up for yourself too. Like, we hear people give us great advice, but do you change anything? Like, it feels good in the moment because your thoughts cause you to feel whatever you're feeling, and then you express that, and then that expression is an action, and you get a result, right? So in this conversation, you might be feeling better if you're listening to this. Maybe there's certain things that you feel differently about, or you feel hopeful about, but if you now shut this off and go about life the way you always have, nothing's changed. So my greatest truth is accepting who I've been, taking responsibility for it, changing my behavior, knowing that I'm going to be able to serve better because of the lessons I've learned. I'll be a better partner. I'll be a better son. I'll be a better brother. I'll be a better friend because all of that. And if you take any of that past away, I wouldn't be who I am today, like it or not. So we got to love ourselves, man. We got to really have a lot of grace and compassion, but we also have to make sure we hold ourselves accountable.
Beautiful. Mr. Trimboli, Joe, my brother, thank you very much for being here. And I appreciate you being my first guest on my podcast.
Oh, I'm your first
guest.
Yeah,
that's it. The Integrity Project.
Thanks,
thank you
brother.
very much, sir. And Joe, thank you again. And please let the audience know where they can find you for the wake-up call.
JoeTrimboli.com, at Joe Trimboli on social media. But I'd love to have you as one of our members on the wake-up call. If you go to JoeTrimboli.com, click on the link wake-up call, and get a free 2-week membership. See if it's for you. It's bright and early, but if you want to change your results, you got to change the way you think, and you need the repetition.
I've been on that call. It's incredible. By the way, Joe, I just want to thank you for that because it does help a lot of people.
And you were incredible on that call. You provided so much, and I thank you for all that.
Hey, you're very welcome. And when it comes down to the Integrity Project, you can find us on all social media platforms under the Integrity Project. Follow us, like us, and share. And we really appreciate you. If you like this content, please comment below. Thanks very much, guys, and have yourselves a wonderful day.
Wow.